this is such a fun chapter because this overturns a lot of tropes and such, right? So remember how the main character was Lu Yue, right? Generally, always have a male MC, right? Generally written by a male author, who is doing all the heavy lifting in a lot of these online literature novels, YY 小说, these web novels, right? You'll see it in a lot of the cultivation novels. I think this novel really balances out that balance, right? Because for these past like 30, 40 chapters, it's all just Sume, right? Which is rare. It's almost like a deuteragonist. And I think Sume is could be potentially one of the MCs if you think about it. Lu Yan was definitely the beginning, but he kind of similar to One Punch Man. He doesn't get a lot of scenes in the first volume. He gets a lot more scenes in the second volume, but in the first volume he's definitely not there. But you'll see that every single character plays their own part. Whether it's John Smith, who's advancing the story in game, Sume, who previously was just like this background character that was his previous life's lover, to add drama, seems to be turning into a real character. Lu Rian obviously has taken a much more backseat. You don't really see his name pop up a lot, and I think that just goes to show the skill of this author. Even though he may not be as published as much as some of the other authors, he's definitely taken a much more interesting route. And then this is another one. So you'll see that a lot of these NPCs almost seem like real characters as well. So there's chapter 91. It's called 麦琪的礼物. I think which is translates to Maggie's gift. I don't know. I instantly thought of Magi's gift, and then here's everyone's thing. So yeah, it's definitely a hint for those for a lot of Chinese readers. For me though, I was kind of confused. I always thought it was Magi, but no, it's Maggie's. The two mechas were struck with an electric arc at the same time and almost overlapped and smashed on the seats of the cinema. I saw that the originally fragile velvet electric chairs fall apart under the heavy pressure. The two mechas were stacked together, one without moving. The drivers inside were stunned instantly by the super high amount of electric shock. If Sume has the biggest advantage right now, it is that she herself does not have to withstand the ultra high volt arc attack. Yeah, so because I think electricity is in arcs. So she only has to stare at the game screen closely and wait for a character who is also shocked to regain consciousness. But if the other party regains consciousness first, then I'm afraid that the only destiny to greet oneself is to continue to read save files. Behind, Sume was terrified. She understands that she must have triggered some plot points just now. Otherwise, someone would take the initiative to broadcast the location of the tracked vehicle before she said the location of the polar tracked vehicle. This is true for the dark boss in front of her. The temptation couldn't be greater, and so he chose to let all the mecha under his men stop patrolling and rest, and set off toward the distant iceboat. As long as he can get the polar tracked vehicle, he can explore and conquer with Binghai City as his base. No one can resist this temptation, because they don't have a means of transportation. Therefore, he's willing to come to Sume's body, even a place within Sume's reach. If this is the case, don't blame Sume for being rude. Although any weapon too close is cumbersome, it does not prevent the girl from using the most primitive weapon of mankind. That is, the fist. After all, the arc is conducive. For various reasons, the mecha won't be insulated. When the distance between the eyebrows is close enough that the opponent can be pushed down, the original such efficient suppression weapon will be injured. A double-edged sword that hurts oneself again. But Sume was very happy to see this double-edged sword because she was human and the dark boss was herself. At the beginning of being shocked, Sume's character completely lost consciousness and the screen went dark for an instant. But as time passed, her vision finally recovered, but the character still lost control. His data chain kept coming back to those ghouls. They ran and jumped on the building, and under the shining of the red moon, they launched the thrust engine on their backs, drawing straight lines pointing straight to the coordinates that were broadcast. The Dark Boss is their common master and the most unquestionable wolf. He had issued the highest instructions, so other wolves can only follow suit. Otherwise, they will be torn to pieces by their companions. Long-term boredom and despair turned them into beasts one by one, and at the same time gave up more thinking. Independent thought. Sume bit her lip. If you continue to look, you will see that they surrounded the polar tracked vehicle, and then a little bit tore open the tracked vehicle's defenses, and pushed and pulled to disarm the tracked vehicle's arms and mobility. It's obvious that this dark box, there's no need to surrender. Then they will kill Ayao on the spot. If Yao is inside, wrong. Sume suddenly realized, Ayao, someone broadcast the coordinates of the polar crawler, but who is this person? Except for Ayao, who is currently in a tracked vehicle, who can use the drone to broadcast the coordinate images of the tracked vehicle. I searched Binghai City for day and night and have not returned. Is it possible that Ayao chose to encircle Wei and save Zhao? Because she was worried about him? But she don't understand it. would be herself who sacrificed this way. In other words, did she find the traces of the doomsday mechas during the drone search and thought she had an accident? Sume felt cold in her heart. Yes, it was like a gift from Maggie. Oh, it is the gift of Magi. Maichi. The poor husband sold his beloved pocket watch in order to buy his wife a set of tortoiseshell combs, worthy of her beautiful long hair. But his wife, in order to buy a platinum bracelet for her husband's watch, sold her most proud long hair. She did not hesitate to put on mechas and go deep into. Sorry, give me a junior high school English test. She did not hesitate to put on the mecha and go deep into the tiger's den in order to save Ayao to find a tiny opportunity. But Ayao did not hesitate to light the torch because she discovered the danger in the city and gave her father a little support at the cost of exposing herself. But in this case, even if you finally get the medical component, what's the point? Perhaps in Ayao's heart, she thought she was just a little girl who was about to die. So when she died, it was not important to her. But for herself, so when she died, was not important to her. But for Sume herself, Ayao was the only motivation to live. If there's no Ayao, what's the difference between him and dead John Smith and the dark boss who's still alive? Either you go overboard or you chose to die. There's no middle way. Sume subconsciously wanted to choose to save the file, read the save file. But after the system interface was picked out, she hesitated again. Yes, this is the first time she's gone down this branch, this timeline, this path. And the first time she has gone so far. If she chooses to give up this like this, there will be another aimless ocean ahead. The girl bit her lip, hitting the keyboard and mouse over and over again, hoping that the character in front of her could move. Even it's too late to save all this, at least she could have some new hope if she can move. Over and over and over again. This seemed futile. What is it? Einstein said, to do the same thing over and over and expect different results is madness. The mechas stacked on the screen were silent. Just as Sume was a little desperate, she suddenly found that the armor for character's mecha really moved a little. Sume was overjoyed and continued to smash the keyboard, and found that the more keys she smashed, his character seemed to wake up gradually, until finally, the voice of the Transportation Committee finally rang hopefully. The host's body has been successfully repaired. Please let the host check whether there are any hidden problems. There are no hidden problems. Sume subconsciously wanted to take out the Vulcan cannon or the armor-piercing howitzer to solve the enemy in front of her. He should have only been stunned, not that he was actually electrocuted on the spot. Boss's B grid, but Sume immediately discovered that his whole body's weapons could not be taken out. It seemed that he was still in some sort of malfunction, or is it purely malicious by the system? Sume immediately asked the Transportation Committee, and the Transportation Committee voice sounded calmly. The weapon system is under repair, but the priority is lower than the power and transmission system. You are a light brain, and you're reasonable, auxiliary light brain. Sume looked at the polar track vehicle that appeared in his data link. This indicated that a doomsday mech has approached there. Although it is said that the polar track vehicle would not be destroyed remotely due to the order of the Dark Boss, it was not. It does not mean that Ayao inside will be safe. Even if she leaves the Dark Boss and rushes over for the first time, she cannot save Ayao, who is dozen kilometers away in a straight line. Moreover, the opponent is too dangerous. Sume has a chance to subdue him up close, and she does not want to miss this golden opportunity. So Sume stood up and grabbed the seat on the ground and uprooted it as a sling to destroy all the laser barrels installed above the cinema. Then she picked up the heavy black mecha in one hand and removed his limbs and joints and all of them. The weapon, only a bare head and torso with a mecha cabin, confirmed that the opponent did not threaten him. Sume saved the file. If the Dark Boss proves he has other means of struggling, Sume does not mind reading the save file and doing more. Anyways, I'm a high-dimensional creature. Omniscient reader vibes. And with that, girls have never liked games so much now. She grabbed the Dark Boss who had become a human and smashed it twice on the ground, awakening him with a simple shock shaking. If you want to live, order all your ghouls to roll back to me. The girl issued her favorite threat of justice. Nice chapter, eh? The enemy gets his comeuppance. The hero lives and the villain is defeated. Fun. But it is very, very nice. Very, very, very well written. Let's see what's the next chapter on my list. 93 looks good. 95 is a very Russian joke. I think this is. I think it's gonna be 96. It's gonna be 96. And then the rest is gonna be some more drama stuff. We only got 4 more chapters left. So yeah, we're gonna go to 96, 100, 102, and 121. That's it. That's all the chapters left of Volume One. There's a Volume Two, and there's like 21 free chapters, but I'd have to look at my list again and see if there's anything I want to read on that. But I think ending at Volume One will be fine for now. So yeah. Very fun chapters. Very fun chapters. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for listening.